What is up, my fellow Chibits? Today, I'm here to bring all of you the weekly Chibi vlog. Now, as always, I'm gonna ask, how are you doing? Has today been good? Has today been bad? Are you having a good week? Or are you having a bad week? And how is exams? How is college? How is high school? How is work? Let me know in the comments below. And I do hope all of you are having a very good day. So with that being said, this past week, I gotta say, holy crap. I have been enjoying the fucking shit out of Nier Automata. As you already know, I've already uploaded a couple of videos with, Nier in them, and you're probably wondering what the hell that is. So, to do a quick clarification, those are just little highlights from the Twitch stream. The reason why they're there is just to share with everyone to kind of just see some funny moments and stuff where they're never lost. Because as you know, Twitch removes the broadcast and stuff after some time, and so you don't get to have them saved. And so that is why I'm uploading those little tiny little clips where I can constantly have them and I can go back to them if anyone wants to see them or whatever. They're always there. So that's kind of why I uploaded those clips. Now, I know many might not care for those videos. I'm just doing that for the people that do watch the Twitch streams. So that's just to give an FYI to anyone that's been wondering why those two videos were uploaded yesterday and then the one earlier this week. I did a live stream earlier this week, and a lot of you seem to really enjoy that. I just want to say I appreciate all of you tuning in to, watching that live stream on the channel and stuff, just, chilling and, just doing a regular Q&A, singing some songs and stuff like that, even though I embarrassed the fuck out of myself, and I know I'm a trash singer, I know I can't sing, I know I can't. Just, you don't have to tell me. I'm fully aware of this. But I had a lot of fun, though. I had a lot of fun spending time with you guys, being able to do that stream, just being able to chill with you guys, communicate and stuff. It's stuff I like doing. I really love doing, that type of stuff, to be able to communicate with all of you. It's kind of out of my comfort zone overall, because I don't normally do live streams, especially with webcams and stuff. And it's something like, holy shit, I don't want to fuck up anything or mess anything up, or the stream goes, completely south or something, like, power goes out or something. And I've always been worried about that. It's something that's always ate at me when I try to do live streams, and I'm glad everything worked out and everybody had a lot of fun sitting down watching the live stream and stuff. So I'm thankful. I'm very thankful for everyone that was, watching earlier this week, and I'm also thankful for all of you Chibits to just still being around making this community what it is today, because as I said in the live stream, and I've said it countless times in the past, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, and I couldn't be making any video if it wasn't for you guys. I mean, I could, but I wouldn't have, the ability to share all of this, my passion for anime, if it wasn't for all of you. So, I just want to say, you guys really, thank you. I'm really thankful for all these, months and years you've been supporting me and all that, helping me out, and commenting, liking videos and stuff like that. It does help, and I notice it, and I'm very thankful about that. So, thank you. Thank you to all of those that, have continued to support me throughout all of these years. And may, we reach 200K. That's my goal. That is my goal. 200K before the end of this year. I don't know if we'll reach that. I highly doubt it. But even if we don't, I'm still happy. I'm happy just to know we have this many already. Just that is my goal. That's something I would like, but that might be out of reach. But speaking of something for a goal, it's been a while since I have done this, and I feel like I should make a bet with all of you. Yes, if you know, a long time ago, I used to do a lot of bets. I stopped doing them because I think the last bet I did was that habanero stuff, like no, ghost pepper. It was like the ghost pepper sauce that I drank. Oh my god, that shit killed me, killed my stomach. I felt like I was dying when I did that. I think that was the last bet I did. If it wasn't that, it was either Bible Black or Boku no Pico, and my friend told me to do this. My friend told me, Chibi, you gotta fucking do this. You gotta do it. And this man told me, like, you need to do a live reaction to Boku no Pico episode 2. And I'm like, no fucking way. Like, fuck you. I'm like, fuck you. Like, no. And I was like, you know what? I'll do a bet. I'll do a bet with my Chibits. Because that's fair. That's very fair. We'll see how they are. Let's see how you guys are if you're willing to take the bet. So here it is. So like tradition, what I used to do in the past, when there was a certain milestone met in a certain amount of time, I would do something for all of you. And so, like I did in the past for like a certain key, so like a milestone, and I did the Boku no Pico episode 1 live reaction. Oh, God. I'm gonna regret this. I'm straight gonna regret, I'm gonna regret the fuck out of this. Okay. If we can reach 175k Chibits before the end of May, I will live react to Boku no Pico Episode 2. Full live reaction. I cannot shut it off. I cannot shut it off. I cannot shut the fucking stuff off and just say I can't anymore. If I do it and we get to 175k Chibits before the end of May, the final day of May, okay, the final day of May, Central Time, 12, p.m. at night, or whatever, 12 a.m., 12 a.m. at night, final day of May. If we do not reach 175k, I won't do it. But if we do before then, I will make the video. Now, here's the thing. Let's say we get to 175k literally in a fucking week, which that's not going to happen. But let's just say, hypothetically, let's say we reached it in a week. No, obviously, I would make the video right then and there, because I'm not going to make you wait until the end of May. I really actually hope we don't get 175k, please. I don't want to watch this. I really don't. I really don't. I seriously, I swear I don't want to watch it, but it spices things up. It'll spice something up. It's been a while since I made a bet. Let's just see, let's just see the passion, how you guys want me to, watch it. But, we'll see. So, yeah, just throwing it out there, there is a bet. There's a bet for all of you. I will watch Episode 2, no stops, but if we reach 175k before the end of May. There you go. Okay, so with that being said, enough of my dignity about to be crushed, because I know many of you are probably going to be making shit ton of fucking accounts trying to... Oh, God. Okay, so let's get into the fan mail. Dear Chibi, hello, it is Austin, once again, and before you start reading this, I hope you open this first so the hype buildup is worth it. It's been a while since I've written to you, and yes, I'm doing very well. How about yourself? I'm doing good. How about you? I've been meaning to write to you, but I just haven't had the time to. I was supposed to send you a letter way back in August, but never got around to it. I'll give a quick rundown of what was in it, and it has happened to me. I got a new vehicle that I love so much, and way better than the piece of shit truck I had that would go about 15 miles per hour. The main problem I had with it was the reduced engine power, and man, did I hate it. I hated it more than Guts hates Griffith. I got screwed over at a dealership, and they wouldn't take it back. The dealership said it was alright and nothing was wrong with it. Man, did I get screwed over. It is a 2015 Kia Rio. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm not into cars or anything. I have completed my storyboarding of my manga with 39 pages. I'm pretty sure that it's good for a first chapter. It's fast-paced, but there's a reason why I did that, and it gets right to the action, and I know that's probably bad writing. But hey, I'm not an author, but I think a lot of manga could do that, and I'm not sure. If I get published, I'll probably have to do this all over again, and I'll have to slow it down, then I get to the action, but I don't know. Once I get done with it, I'll let you read it and decide as a reviewer what I should do to improve that myself. Now, I just have to go back over it and put details and inking it and a lot of other stuff, then I could scan it, print them out, and I'll send it to you. Now, to get to the real reason why I'm writing this, we all know how much you love Berserk and how much of an awesome series it is, even though we get like 3 chapters a year. Here's something that you'll absolutely love. I got this baby at Wizard Con down here in Louisiana and New Orleans, which was a 4-hour drive from where I live. I got a few stuff from there, and I also got a Bakugo figurine. I was going to get you one and send it to you, but they only had one left. Don't worry, I'll get it off of eBay, and I'll send it to you. There were a few famous people here, like Christopher Foldy. I'm going to be honest, I don't know who that is. The dot format Back to the Future, David Duchovny? Agent Mulder from X-Files, Chumley, Lau, the original Hulk in the 80s, and a few WWE superstars. Dave was one, Stephen Amell, a main actor who plays Arrow. I can go on, but that's a few. Also, Carrie Fisher was supposed to be there, but sadly she passed away. There was a big picture of her in her Princess Leia uniform, and people signed their names on it. Okay, now time to get off of that and back to your gift. I myself have this, and I love it, and I wish I could hang it on the wall if I had any room, but it's alright how it is, and now the wait is over. Here is my gift. Open up and see for yourself. Your fellow Chibit, Austin. P.S. I was wrong about the person who lived here in Louisiana like me. It is Alexis. Hello, Alexis, from a fellow Louisianan to another. Okay. So, thank you very much, Austin, for whatever you have in this big package. Let's get this baby open. Is this what I think it is? This is heavy as fuck. Like, I'm being real here. Is this guts? It. Oh my. This is fucking guts. Dude, it is so fucking heavy. Oh, okay, it's latched. Dude. Oh my god, it is Guts' blade. Holy sh... Is that sharp on the edges? No, it's dulled. Okay, so it's display. But still, Guts is fucking... Oh my god, yo! Yo! Yo, that is badass, dude! Oh my god! Yo! Yo! Like, I guess Guts' blade would be really blunt now that I think about it, because it's just a big-ass hunk of metal. Oh my god! That is bad fucking ass! Dude! That's straight fucking... Yo! Yo! Damn! Look at that! Oh, dude, I'm not joking. This is heavy as fuck. Like, this is really heavy. Dude, I really love that handle. Look at that fucking handle, though. Oh, my God. Okay, let me put this away. This is badass. Like, oh, my God, this is badass. Austin. Like, straight up. Oh my god. Like, it's not 100% replica. Like, there's a little bit of discrepancies here and that's a little bit different, but still, that is badass as fuck. Oh my god. I'm just sitting here staring at it. It's just like, bro, it is a big ass fucking sword. That's big as fuck. Okay, so Austin, I'm just gonna say thank you very much for that. Oh my god, you shouldn't have, but that's badass. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi Chibi, my name is Sharklove, and I follow your reviews on YouTube, and you're awesome. I have been reading Tokyo Ghoul every week, and so far the new chapters have been freaking awesome. I looked up the meaning of Urei's name, and it means God is light. Does it really? I need to look into that. I really hope that Ishida-sensei doesn't kill Kaneki at the very end of Tokyo Ghoul. I love Kaneki, Toka, Tsukiyama, and Urei, and Saiko. There should be another part of this letter on the next page. So Chibi, I saw Magical Girl Raising Project, and it was an okay series. It was too bloody and had so many character deaths. My favorite characters in the show were Ripple and Snow White. They reminded me of Homura and Madoka. So on to another series. Someday in Nananasu no Taizai, I hope to see Meliodas marry Elizabeth and King marry Diane. During September 2016, I met the voice actress that voiced Diane in the English dub of Taizai. Her name is Erica. She's very nice. She also voices Ghoul from Hunter x Hunter. So the last page of the letter. Chibi, I really want you to start reviewing or live react Demon's Plan. Demon's Plan is about a boy named Boro and his friend who wishes to obtain an ancient artifact called the Demon's Plan, where a demon can grant any wish. Isn't Demon's Plan canceled? I could have swore it got canceled. Didn't it get canceled? Someone let me know in the comments. I could have swore Demon's Plan was canceled. I recommend Demon's Plan, Chibi. It's a really good series. The author is Okamoto, and I really hope you like this letter. Sorry if it's long. Sincerely, Sharka Frank. Aw, don't worry, my bro. It's not that long of a letter at all. In fact, it's actually very short. So, about Demon's Plan, let's talk about that for a second. So, as I already said earlier on, like less than a minute ago, isn't Demon's Plan canceled? I could have swore it got canceled. Like, it got only, like, 10 chapters, and then it got axed. Like, you know, typical of what Shonen Jump does. I could be wrong about that. If anyone can clarify, let me know. I'll look into it. I remember reading the first chapter. It was okay, but I was wanting to see where it would go, and I think I heard something about it getting canceled, but I don't know. I'm not aware. So, if anyone can let me know, please let me know. But overall, though, Shark, it's a really good letter, so don't worry. Thank you very much, and I do appreciate it. So you have a very wonderful day, and thank you. Dear Chibi, BOL here again, and it's good to see that your spirits are back up again after the 2016 ran it into the dirt. Fair warning, Chibi, but this letter is going to contain some more serious content than usual, and I'll leave any anime talk with you into the next letter. Okay. Before we get started, I have a few questions for Chibi to answer. First, how often do you pay attention to what happens in real-world news? I keep up so-and-so. Not complete, like, 100%, but I do keep up so-and-so with everything going on, or at least around me, or at least somewhat in America. Second, do you have accounts with any of the following banks? Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase Bank, or Citibank? No, I don't. I actually have a credit union. That's who I'm with. Lastly, is Chibi willing to sacrifice some convenience to himself and embrace change if it meant being able to help a lot of people? I asked Chibi these 3 questions because I'm going to issue a call to action for Chibi here in order to help stop something terrible that is happening right now. I recently got a thank you letter from President Obama that got me to act out my small role as a U.S. citizen looking out for my fellow countrymen. Even as we speak, there are many Native Americans and U.S. veterans out in the state of North Dakota right now that desperately need our help. If you have not heard about the Dakota Access Pipeline, as well as the Keystone Pipeline, I personally have no idea, never heard of it. I'll brief you on them. These 2 pipelines that are being built right now cut through sacred lands belonging to Native Americans and threaten to pollute vast areas of flowing rivers. Not only where they deemed illegal by both the core of the engineering and Obama administration, but the company that is building the pipelines have been brutalizing the water protectors. Native Americans have been shot with rubber bullets and illegal tear gases, mauled by attack hounds, sprayed with water hoses and freezing. Jesus! And hit with explosives. Not just men and women have been assaulted, but also children and elderly too. Some have lost eyes and limbs due to the— wait, what? Is this happening in America? What? What? Bro, what? I need to look into this. Like, what the fuck? You think something this violent would be all over the news? All the water protectors are also unarmed, but the oil companies have gone out of their way to frame them for burning and destroying construction equipment just to give them an excuse to arrest these people for crimes they are not committing. They're preventing any news broadcast on the pipelines in order to keep people in the dark about this, and they have even stopped emergency vehicles from entering areas to treat the Native Americans who were badly hurt by their anti-protest attacks. The only reason any news about this is getting out is due to some people being clever enough to sneak small cameras and smartphones into the zones to take pictures and videos to upload onto the internet, like on YouTube. The U.S. veterans are doing all they can to act as human shields to protect the Native Americans, but they also need our help, Chibi. The worst part is that the oil companies is lying about how the pipelines are safe and will provide Americans with easier access to gas, but that is not simply true. For instance, the North Dakota Access Pipeline has ruptured at least 3 times during its construction, spilling literally tons of oil for miles, the most recent break in Texas with 600,000 gallons of oil spilled. Not just that, but once the pipes are completed, the oil companies plan to pack and sell the oil overseas to make even more money, while they raise the gas prices for us as they profit on 2 fronts. This is also where the 4 banks I mentioned come in, as both the pipelines are being funded by the Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase Bank, and Citibank, using the people's money to do so. This is my call to action for Chibi and the community. Tap into the common humanity we share and do our part to help the Native Americans and U.S. veterans by switching our bank accounts over to the credit union. If Chibi doesn't know a credit union, I know. I actually, like I said, already have a credit union. Credit union basically works the same as a bank, but better, since it gives you more control over your account. Does not send money to the big oil companies to commit harmful practices like this, and gives you a better interest rate. This is a catch, though. Credit unions are very localized and not that widely spread, so you have to pick a credit union that you can have both easy access to and is open in a good number of places. Chibi, me and Amigo have already canceled our bank accounts to switch over to credit unions, and now we're asking you to do the same. It's time to leave the big banks and convince as many people as we can to do the same in order to keep our fresh water safe to drink and use. Chibi, I ask of you sounds like a lot, but you can call us in the community your family, and there are people affected by this within our community, even if they don't say. So I ask you, my brother, to do this to help people who are desperate in need right now to switch to a credit union ASAP. Say no to the pipelines and yes to clean water. Your brother, BOL. P.S. I'll be hoping and waiting. Jacob. So, whoa, so you're telling me, like, let me get the gist of this letter now, okay? So this is, like, I was just reading it without stopping. So what you're telling me is that there is this pipeline right now that's going on. It's, you know, actually ruining the land and stuff that Native Americans live in. Now, I don't actually understand what you're getting at here. Like, you're saying that there's Native Americans that have this certain land, and they're, you know, having it taken away from them and all that. And it's against the law, apparently, what's going on. And I want to be honest with you, I haven't seen any media coverage on this, and as you say, they're apparently covering media, or, you know, not allowing the media to really get it out or whatever, which I don't really know, because, like I said, I know next to nothing about, you know, this entire situation. I'll need to look into this, because that's interesting. I know about the oil spill and stuff in Texas, but I didn't know about the, Dakota access pipeline and stuff. That's interesting. Well, if anyone knows about this more than BOL or me, please, you know, let me know in the comments, because this is my first time hearing about this. Huh. If it really is as big as you say, you'd think there would be more media coverage on it. That's the strange part. So, anyways, thank you for the letter, BOL. I do appreciate it, and like I said, I'll look into it, though. I definitely will. So, thank you so much. Dear Chibi, first letter hype. I'm Adam, I'm 19 and a college student from Jersey. How you doing, Adam? I hope you're having a very good day. You probably see me here and there in the comments section. I was the one who had that theory on Arima a few chapters back. Spoilers, I was the guy screaming called it when we found out Arima was the previous one-eye king. How old is this letter? Holy shit, how old is this letter? No, there is no way I have a letter this old. Well, I don't know if Adam's still watching this, but I'm going to read it regardless. Oh, yeah. Honestly, don't even remember how I found you, but if it wasn't for my interest in your videos, I never would have gotten into certain shows. This is especially true for ReZero, which I damn near dropped. I'm so glad I got back into it and caught it up to it while it was still airing. Honestly, if it wasn't for this show and a few other things, I probably never would have gotten my life in order. I was pretty much a NEET ever since I entered college, and honestly, I was kind of a useless person. All I pretty much had was my ability to write stories, which I still do to this day. I relate to Subaru on so many levels, and the story in general broke me more than the anime than any other anime I've ever seen. So far, nothing has beat ReZero in my opinion. The only other show that came close were Zenkyo no Terror, Kakai Sensen, and Psycho-Pass. I'll put that shit above JoJo. Freaking JoJo, and I'm a JoJo fanboy. I love it to death, but JoJo doesn't have as strong a personal connection. ReZero appreciation aside, I want to write this letter just as an introduction to those to come after it. Yes, I tend to write more letters full of my stuffy English. Anyways, one of the reasons I love anime and manga as well as video games is because of their stories. I never have been able to find a series over here in America or from Europe that has quite the level of depth as anime and manga. There are some movies here and there that I love, as well as books and such, but I don't watch any American TV. The only show I ever really enjoyed from my home country is J.J. Abrams' Fringe, which is, if you haven't already, the first season a bit rough, but it only goes up from there. And I need to stop sidetracking, but as I was saying, I love the stories of anime and manga, and they have become some of the biggest inspirations for my own writing. I even wrote a giant-ass book that I published through Amazon on my own. I wrote it back in high school, and honestly, it is complete trash. I have since begun rewriting the books and breaking into smaller parts. It's kind of like a light/web novel, except made in the USA. Honestly, it's thanks to you, though, that I'm able to rewrite this damn thing, as I take a hell of a lot of inspiration from our mutual idol, Soyoshida. Your videos of Tokyo Ghoul show up in my sub box kept me wanting to catch up to the series, given how insane things have gotten. I'm caught up now, but I probably am going to go back to TG's first ever chapter, because I can barely remember the character names and plot lines. That's what we all need to do. Seriously, the only way to really appreciate Tokyo Ghoul is to read the series, catch up probably 3, and then reread Tokyo Ghoul again. Because honestly, every time I reread Tokyo Ghoul, I constantly find new things I didn't notice before that correlate with Tokyo Ghoul, and it blows my mind. You'll probably hate me for this, but I actually really enjoyed— oh no, at first. Then I read the manga and got really mad. The only thing for the anime I still enjoy is the entire sentence. Likewise. Tokyo Ghoul has become a huge inspiration for my writing as of late, and I love to give you the chance to read some of my stories. I was considering sending some books your way once I'm done, the working on the first volume of the rewrite I mentioned. Look forward to that, and don't worry, I won't be sending my crap your way with every letter. I got plenty to rant about, so you'll probably be getting letters as often as I can write them. Can't wait to send another letter. P.S. I'll message you on Twitter sometimes, since I hardly use an excuse to return to it. Sincerely, Adam. Thank you very much, Adam, for this letter, and I've said it last week, sometimes I get a bunch of letters, and, you know, I don't open the ones that, you know, came before first, and I'm guessing I had this one sitting in the pile longer than the others. I feel bad, because I know that probably, you Adam, you're like, did Chibi not get my letter or something, and that makes me feel bad. That makes me feel bad now. Fuck. Fuck. I enjoyed the letter, but like I said, I don't know, Adam, if you're still watching this video. If you do, I'm sorry, but like I said, might be mad at me. So, anyways, thank you very much, Adam, for the letter. Don't know if you're still watching this, but if you are, I'm sorry. And if you're not, I understand, because, yeah. So thank you very much. Good Omens? Never heard of it, I want to be honest. The Foundation Trilogy? I've never heard of it either. And Monstrous? Oh, this is a comic. Monstrous. So I'm assuming this is American comic. Remarkable, a beautiful story. A beautiful told story, magic and fear. Volume 1, Awakening. I like that artwork on the front, though. I'm a big fan of that. Chibi. So, of the 3 things I sent, I'll start with the comic. Monstrous is an American comic book series, so unfortunately there's no relation to Monster. The series itself is a dark fantasy series written by, Marjorie, hopefully I'm saying the name right, and drawn by Sana. The premise of the series is thus Micah, a former slave who returns to the country of her imprisoners looking for answers concerning a catastrophic event that occurred when she was a child. It concerns mysterious research her mother was conducting. To say that things quickly become complicated is understanding. So, what makes the series great? Let's just start with the main character. Micah, who is a person forever hardened by her experience as a slave, she is rather ruthless to her enemies and has a bit of guts disregard for personal harm if it means forwarding her goals, but also houses fear about maintaining control of herself. It's also important to note that she still maintains a sense of compassion, most notably seen in her interactions with a little fox kid. The character ends up as a great mix of ferocity and vulnerability, making for interesting main character. The supporting cast, while not as great as Micah, do a nice job of rounding things out. Notable is a cat, who is Best Cat, as well as the aforementioned Fox Girl, who helps highlight what's left of Micah's humanity, as well as provided as a more innocent view of Micah's ruthlessness. Also, the death flags long-term are strong with her. The world itself is so dense, there's an entire page at the end of most chapters dedicated to world building. Finally, the art is gorgeous. Like, holy shit, this artwork is great. I do have to agree, that cover looks pretty fucking badass. The artwork is great. Oh, one warning. The series starts with Micah almost naked at a slave auction. It's not that kind of series, but it does have controversial scenes. Okay. As for the other 2 series, the Foundation Trilogy is a classic sci-fi series by Isaac. It concerns the invention of a mathematical probability system able to predict the future. The invention that was just said mathematically predicts that the galactic empire currently in place is in the twilight of its lifespan, and as such ensures that 2 foundations are established at opposite ends of the empire to ensure the survival of knowledge when the empire collapses. The trilogy then chronicles the first foundation's struggle to survive with the limited resources they have, as well as regional powers popping up as the empire begins to fail. As for why it is great, it's a well-told sci-fi with some neat twists and turns, especially in the later 2 books. Meanwhile, Good Omens is a humorous tale of the apocalypse. Yes, you read that right. It involves the birth of the Antichrist and the subsequential team of an angel and demon who decide they like their lives on Earth far too much for it to end, and do everything they can to stop the apocalypse. This book is flat out hilarious. Along with most things in England, 2 British authors. If you enjoyed this book, consider by the co-author Neil, American Gods, which I should warn you is not a comedy and is quite dark. As for the other co-author, Terry, it's hard to go wrong with the Discworld series. The series is both a parody of fantasy novels, which also being great fantasy novels in their own right. Sincerely, Jay. Thank you very much, Jay. So, let's read this other letter. You have one other letter over here. Chibi, assuming you've read the other letter concerning the book sent, I have a couple of anime-related questions to talk about. First is Bungo Stray Dogs. I recently watched both seasons of Bungo Stray Dogs after having dropped it early in the season. One, I think about around the point you did, give or take an episode. And I'll be honest, the first season of Stray Dogs did not impress me with its anticlimactic at times and okay at others, but it never did I think, oh, I'm really glad to be watching this series. The changes immediately this changes immediately with Season 2. The season starts with a 4-episode prequel arc, with Dazai being the only character from the rest of the series to appear, playing a major supporting role. The arc itself is amazing, featuring a substantial plot line, full of twists and turns, and all of it paced out incredibly well. Operating at a level I honestly didn't think Bungo Stray Dogs was capable of. The remaining 8 episodes cover an arc set up by the end of Season 1, and while not on the same level as the prequel arc, is much better than Season 1, and honestly quite enjoyable. If you want to make a decision about the series, I recommend watching the prequel arc, which requires nothing from Season 1, and then watch Season 1 and then 2 in order. I also have 2 Magical Girl webcomic series to recommend, Shattered Starlight and Sleepless Domain. Shattered Starlight is basically about a what-if scenario. In this case, what if Sailor Moon completely burned out in her 20s, become bitter and alienated? Wait, is this a fanfic? I think it is. Alienated from all her friends. The series prints about a page per year, and it's still fairly early on, currently at page 47. So the overarching plot is still a bit unclear, but it's been good so far. Sleepless Domain is a bit different. To say it takes heavy inspiration from Madoka is inadequate. However, it does not go full Madoka, instead falls somewhere in between that and Sailor Moon. One would think that they may cause a horrible tonal clash, but instead it just rather effortlessly blends together. As for the plot of the series, it's Madoka inspiration. It basically leaves me in a bind, although at least it warns you shit will hit the fan early on. I also like to give a shout out to the art, which is simple but very clean and distinct, as well as being full color. The series is currently releasing 2, sometimes 1 page a week, and it's on chapter 6, so there's not too much to catch up to right now. Finally, are there any openings or endings you could think of that aren't just good, but perfectly match the series they're in? Oh, Deadman Wonderland's opening. As I've said many times, Higurashi and Umenuko's openings are fucking fantastic. Future Diary, regardless of how shit it is, Future Diary's opening is fucking fantastic. Death Parade's opening, fucking awesome. And I would also say Mob Psycho. Mob fucking Psycho. Oh my god, that Mob Psycho opening. And then JoJo openings as well. Let's see. I thought about this due to my viewing of Monster, which, in addition to having a nice atmospheric opening, also contains a perfectly matched ending song with For the Love of Life. Attack on Titan's first opening, along with Hunter x Hunter's, come to mind, along with Madoka, Clannad, and Death Parade. It is, but I was wondering if there were any you had in mind. Ending-wise, I don't... Nah. It mainly comes down to openings for me. I guess Tanya, that's the recent one. You know, the Yojo Senki series that's out this season? I guess that ending song really goes well with the series. Sincerely, Jay. P.S. You haven't read Boom Boom Chibi. What the hell? I have been reading it. As I said in the previous vlogs, I've been reading it. P.P.S. Almost forgot about Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. OP. Those are currently well matched, and yeah, Fullmetal Alchemist is fucking amazing. P.P.P.S. My mindset for the season, to quote the Brits, is keep calm and explosion! Oh, shit. That was a good letter. Thank you very much, Jay. I will look into these books since you recommended them. I'll probably read this first, the Monstrous first, because I like the artwork and you know how I am. I like comics and stuff. So, I'll look into it. Thank you so much, and I'm going to move on to the next letter. Thank you. Dear Chibi, hello, it is I, Austin, once again, and I have to say, how are you? I'm doing good. How about yourself, Austin? I'm doing fine. I know it's a short time since I sent you something to you, but I don't know when this would come in, and I didn't want to send it at the same time with your last gift. That's a My Hero Academia figurine. This looks like Bakugo. Well, yep, that is Bakugo. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my, look at that. So, that's good. I have an Izuku figure, so it's nice to actually have, you know, a Bakugo figure now. I can have them kind of going at each other, like, you know, looking at each other like rivals. That's nice. Thank you very much, Austin. Thank you. Thank you for the letter as well. I do appreciate it. And so with that, I think I want to end this vlog. It's been going on for a bit. I opened up quite a few letters here. Some old ones, actually, and I appreciate everybody that, you know, continuously sends letters. Thank you so much, and I hope you all have a very good day. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.